The Final Four stage is set. In Houston, we have a solution. We don't have a problem. We have a solution here. Man, this is probably the most improbable Final Four that I have seen and probably recognized in ever. We have no number 1, number 2, or number 3 seeds in this Final Four. Remember, the number 1 seeds didn't even advance out the Sweet 16 at all. At all. Like that's unheard of to me. There are no blue bloods left, meaning we don't have any Duke, North Carolina, Kansas, Kentucky, any of the originals. I mean, even if you want to consider Gonzaga blue blood at this point, we don't have any of that at all. None. And the title of March Madness just, is shining bright like a diamond right now. Because what we do have is the number 5 seed San Diego State against the number 9 seed FAU. And then on the other side, we have the number 5 seed Miami, the Hurricanes, the U, against number 4 seed UConn, the Huskies. That's what we do have. And let me tell you something. I'm here for it. This is madness at its perfection. It cannot get any better than this. It really can't. It really can't in my eyes. I feel like we've seen great basketball. A lot of these games has come down to the wire. Has not disappointed as far as entertainment purposes. I mean, I tell you what. So back in the Elite Eight, San Diego State and Creighton, did you see that game? Did you see? That really came down to the final seconds. Creighton and San Diego State tied at 56. San Diego State gets the ball, like 6 seconds left. Off the base, not the baseline, off the side. Buddy catches the ball. He drives towards the middle. He was fouled. But I guess in the game, they didn't really call the foul throughout the whole game. But, apparently they called it that time, and he clear as day fouled. Clear as day. The defender was behind him. Hand, kind of pushed him in the back on the hip. It altered his shot. So, in the letter of law, it definitely was a foul. But apparently, it was only a total of like 17 free throws shot that game or something like that. But nevertheless, San Diego State, the guy hits 1 or 2 free throws. And then a Hail Mary pass. The ball gets tipped out of bounds. It should have been, maybe like 0.3, 0.2 left on the clock. But, after review, they ruled it. Game over. I don't know. But anyway, that part of madness, that's how we got San Diego State out the South bracket to go to the Final Four. And FAU and Kansas, shout out to John L. Davis, who many people around my area call him Nelly for short, who is putting the whole city on his back from Gary, Indiana. Who, man, like him and his squad, the definition of resiliency. FAU, like, this could be a real Cinderella that has got it done. Put it to you this way. I believe the lowest seed that ever won a tournament was the AUC Villanova, I think back in 84, 85. I think in that miracle game per se. But FAU's a 9. FAU, and all the FAU's games has been, I think, pretty close for the most part. Let's see, 1-point win against Memphis in the opening round. I mean, that was a good game. That was the game. I was like, the winner of this game is probably going to beat Purdue, but as we know, Purdue didn't even make it out the first round, but that's neither here nor there. Beat Purdue. Second round, I mean, I guess their best victory against Farley Dickinson, FDU. They beat them 78-70. Tennessee. Now, that was, a second half thriller right there to where Tennessee, like if you watch the first half alone, like I did because I kind of fell asleep in the second half, you definitely would have thought Tennessee would have won that game. But, FAU came through. If Tennessee had a pretty darn good defense. And in this Kansas State game was incredible. The infamous Marquise Knoll from Kansas State, who's been electrifying in the tournament. I mean, he didn't disappoint either. And somehow, some way, FAU weathered the storm on that one. Because it seemed like Kansas State, if you was watching the game, Kansas State seemed like they was going to win. And then, FAU in the last few minutes of the game did enough to, take the lead and control the game. Even with Kansas State trying to hit, threes or whatnot to cut it within one with seconds. It was a crazy game. But nevertheless, FAU earned their trip to the Final Four. So Saturday, that's our first game. San Diego State and FAU. I'm telling you, we are so proud of Nelly, John L. Davis. We are so proud of this guy around here. Very proud. And we would love to see him get it done. And then from the Midwest bracket, we got Miami, who was the last game of the weekend. Miami and Texas. And I was watching this game for the most part through the, a little bit into the second half to where Texas was doing their thing. Texas was up 12 or 13 at one point. When I saw it, they was up 12. They were up 12. I had to step away for about a good 15, 20 minutes. I tried to turn back to it. Apparently, Miami ends up winning by 7. So I'm sitting here mind blown. Like, what did I miss? I'm searching for highlights. And man, Miami's just tough. And of course, it didn't help that Texas couldn't hit anything, but still, Miami's tough. So I would say this much. I mean, Miami historically has been known for a football school. But this is 2 consecutive years that Miami has been in the Elite Eight. And now this year, they punched their ticket to the Final Four. And then you have the hottest team left in the field who is still alive. And personally, I think it's the favorite to get it done. That's UConn. Out the West bracket. UConn, I mean, I'll put it to you like this. UConn took care of Iona in the first round. They beat them by 24 points. UConn in the second round, they beat St. Mary's by 15. UConn in the Sweet 16, they beat Arkansas by 23. And then UConn against Gonzaga. As we know, Gonzaga is one of those quote-unquote blue bloods. Gonzaga has made 20-something straight appearances to the tournament. Gonzaga, has been, to the Elite Eight 7 straight times. Like, it doesn't matter. UConn beat Gonzaga by 28 points. So, therefore, UConn is not playing around. And I actually got a good chance to really pay attention and look at UConn against Gonzaga. That team is the real deal. That team is loaded. It's hard for me not to see them win. I mean, as far as scenarios, there's not too many scenarios where they are not national champs based on the eye test. In all honesty, I feel like the only other school that can probably beat them is FAU. I'm not even being biased. I'm being very serious. San Diego State, as good of a defensive team that they are, their offense is not good enough to keep up with UConn at all. And I know Miami is tough, and they are. And that's not going to be an easy game for UConn, but I still think UConn wins that game. Probably by double digits still. If FAU has showed me one thing, that's they are resilient. Just when you think any of those games that they played, just when you think that the other team, the opponent, was getting ready to probably blow the game wide open, FAU does not panic. FAU sticks to their guns. FAU trusts the system, and they power through. And that's what you need against UConn. Because as we know, UConn is going to come out. UConn is going to come out and do their thing. They are. There's probably going to be plenty of times to where UConn is getting ready to blow the game wide open. And I've seen teams like Arkansas couldn't do nothing about it. They looked intimidated out there when I saw them. Gonzaga, same thing. So you got to be able to have a cool, calm head and weather the storm. FAU has been the only team, in my opinion, that's been able to do it consistently throughout this tournament. Guard play matters. The FAU has that. Of course, UConn does too. So, I mean, we'll see. I'm hoping for a FAU-UConn title game. That'll be one for the ages. But either way, we got both games. The Final Four on Saturday. The 1st of April Fools, and then National Championship on April 3rd. So we have not been disappointed here. So get your popcorn ready. And then in other news before we get out of here, the main thing I want to mention as far as the NFL is concerned, Lamar Jackson. He came out yesterday and said that he requested a trade back on March 2nd, I believe. March 2nd or 3rd. I can't remember right now. But either way, at the beginning of the month, saying that the Ravens, basically in a nutshell, don't value him, and I guess he wants to play football where he's valued. So we'll see where he ends up. But I mean, even before coming to free agency, I didn't see him being a Baltimore Raven next year. And I guess even with this right here, that kind of like put more nails in the coffin on that one. There's still teams out here that needs a quarterback now. It's up to them if they actually going to, give up the assets for Lamar Jackson. I mean, for instance, of course, any of the top 10 teams more than likely needs a quarterback. You got those. The Jets. What if the Aaron Rodgers move doesn't work? Do you go for Plan B, even though there's reportedly no Plan B? But do you make up a Plan B and go for Lamar Jackson? Possibly. The one team that's still floating around here is the idea, somehow, some way, is the San Francisco 49ers. Now, they make such a move here for Lamar Jackson, and he's healthy and he pans out. Boy, oh boy, I don't know what to tell you. Whew, that's a rough one right there. That is. But nevertheless, we'll see how all of this unfolds. It's been a very entertaining month of March. I told you this is probably my favorite sports month of the year. NFL free agency has not disappointed over the off season. Because shout out to my boy Lord Poles, Kings of the North. He did his thing. Baseball getting underway here. I'm actually somewhat excited. Hopefully, my White Sox does not have underwhelming, underachieving, undesirable year. Hopefully, everything is with the word over and not overrated. That's what I'm hoping for. NBA playoffs, we getting down to crunch time here, and it's we talked about it, the battle in the Wild Wild West. So yeah, we are in for some good stuff here. So yeah, continue to rock with your boy right here on the No Offense Radio, the No Offense Network. Check me out on social media at JGoodWithSports. We talking about Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, and continue to rock with me right here on the JGoodWithSports podcast, wherever you get your podcast from. So yeah, Thursday, we'll see where anything else happens in the sports world, as that would be the last pod or episode for this month of March, and we'll keep it moving from there. So let's continue to get to the money, finish this month strong, people. Stay healthy, stay blessed. Until next time, peace.